Hello there, Taylor with the ill-tempered weather report. Right, so we've got a lot of ill-tempered weather. That's probably not even how you'd say that, is it? So, Freda is the big thing right now. Freda, let's go on over to the storm track page, in fact. We've got cyclone warnings, got something in French. Devrait encore se renforcer légèrement au cours de... I know, they're in like some kind of pre-tropical cyclone alert status over there in Nouvelle-Calédonie. Right, now where this thing goes afterwards is kind of up for grabs. We'll talk about that in a second, but look at that. There is Freda right there, the satellite loop on that one. So Freda booking through all these places. So that's that one there. Mitchell has had the final advisory. Mitchell ran into, I believe, colder sea surface temperatures and just started kind of breaking apart and whatnot. And then this is a new feature. We've got the information for this storm from Météo France. In fact, if you click on it, Météo France. Right, so the JTWC, that's what this red circle is. The JTWC still has a high chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 24 hours, whereas, as I found out, Météo France, they actually, or at least on this storm anyway, it was, when I started this thing, a zone of disturbed weather. So they actually will put out a, you know, what is it, a trajectory map, they'd call it, on zones of disturbed weather. Then earlier, it was a tropical disturbance. So it went from zone of disturbed weather to tropical disturbance to now it is up to a tropical depression. So you can actually see what they are predicting, and it's basically headed for Réunion, La Réunion, I believe is the official name, and then, what is it? I forget what that was called, Mauritius? It's Maurice, it's a Maurice in French. It's probably Maurice, I don't know. Anyway, so yes, and I shall say that whenever the JTWC does start covering it, it's probably going to break the site, right? Because there's going to be two different conflicting storms, and it's not going to know what's going on. Right, so this one is predicted to become the equivalent of as strong as a Category 2 hurricane, which only helps if you're familiar with the Saffir-Simpson scale. And actually, technically, that's not true, because I believe the scale down here is based on, what is it, the maximum sustained wind speed over 10 minutes, whereas I think the Saffir-Simpson uses like something a little bit different, but over 1 minute instead of 10. It's something, a gust. One of them uses gusts or something. I don't know, maybe that's not even this basin. Right, and then back here, this is per the JTWC, medium chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 24 hours. So let's talk about where this stuff might head. So we'll head on over to the Cyclone Lab. Right, so let's first talk about Freda. Where might Freda head? So this is the ECMWF. It goes in 24-hour increments. So this is showing it basically heading to Nouvelle-Calédonie and then booking a little bit westward. At one point, it did show a bit of a Australia landfall, you know, so I don't know if that's going to show up again. Because these things kind of change from time to time. And if you look at this thing back here, I don't know if that would be... It doesn't look all that strong. That might technically be like an extra tropical cyclone, but it kind of looks like there might be like a little bit of a low pressure storm out there. Yes, that's per the ECMWF. So same area, but with the GFS, where instead of 24-hour intervals, it goes in 3-hour intervals, so it moves much slower. So it has this low pressure area that kind of never turning into anything. So once upon a time, the GFS was actually showing like a landfall in New Zealand, and now it's got it kind of covered away before it ever quite gets there. Now, I think it would actually technically be extra tropical at that point, but that's, you could still pack like lots of winds, could pack some rain, it just wouldn't technically be a tropical cyclone. But now, as of this latest run, it looks like impacts to the coast of Australia. So that is the South Pacific area with Freda. And then, of course, it does break my computer. So let's talk about the Indian Ocean. So this is the ECMWF, again, in 24-hour intervals. So this showing it being a pretty big storm. And then the thing that's right now medium chance of tropical cyclone formation, potentially becoming a problem for Maurice and La Réunion. And then we close that and go to the GFS. Yes, and again, 3-hour intervals. Well, this thing also basically showing this turning into a pretty big monster storm, and then this one coming back behind it. So, and then of course if you look up there in the Northwest Pacific, the GFS is kind of showing what might be, I have no idea, but maybe like a tropical depression type situation, because it doesn't look like it gets all that well formed, but a potential storm up there out in the northwest Pacific. So yes, if you want to look at these yourself, it's Cyclone Lab, it's that thing there. So I think that pretty much is it. So there's 4 things. It's had its final advisory, Tropical Cyclone Freda, who's definitely a big problem. And then I've forgotten the name of, I think it's Dumile. Dumile, I believe, is the next, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, of course. I believe is going to be the next named storm, which it's looking almost certain that this storm is going to reach named status, and probably soon-ish. And that thing may well reach named status as well. So that is it for tropical cyclones. Severe thunderstorm weather-wise in the US, it's just peachy because it's winter. And I say that, and then I have to say, Dixie Alley, it's never quite, you know, they're never completely in the clear in the southeast when it comes to severe thunderstorms. And of course, snow-wise, there's always snow going on in the winter, obviously. Yes, but severeweathertv.com is the official homepage of the screencast. WikiWix is WICKEDWX.com. Cyclocane is CYCLOCANE.com. Let's put on all of the satellite views. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. That probably does not line up real accurately, but there you go. There's Freda, there's the remnants of Mitchell, there's future Dumile, and then there's future whatever the next storm after that would be. That's it for today. Stay safe out there.